Hey guys, I don't know if you knew it or not, but we actually do sell t-shirts here for the YouTube channel. Now, I know you guys may like being nude, but here in the real world, we like wearing clothes. And what better way can you do that? By buying one of our t-shirts. So go to teespring.com and pick any of the shirts that you see us wear on the show, and you can be like us, not nude. Hi guys, welcome to the Rule of Two, where the Star Wars news saga continues. I'm Terrence.
I'm Art.
And a third show in a row, we got Art back here. Back to Rule of Two, where he belongs.
Right in this chair.
Right, so we were actually going to do another Rule of Two show, but it was such a small topic, we didn't get around to doing it, and it was somebody's birthday. I had to go celebrate his birthday. But, so we didn't get a chance to do that, so I apologize to you guys for some stuff in regarding Bad Batch that we didn't get a chance to talk about.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about it here today, because you guys already know about Bad Batch. I'm not going to, because that was over a month ago. But what we
want to give you something fresh.
Exactly. What we are going to talk about is there was a recent, I guess, a recent statement from Kathleen Kennedy, who is known as the Kevin Feige of Lucasfilm, where she says that she wants to take a step back and reevaluate Star Wars, the franchise, and where they go from here. So I wanted to ask you a few questions and what that meant. First off, with that statement, how do you feel about her wanting to take a step back?
I think that's a good call.
Okay.
I think with the current environment and the response, the feedback from what
they've given us so far.
yeah, I think it's a good time that maybe. I mean, you're gonna have a fan base. You already know you're gonna have a fan base, but I don't think they're bringing in new people for the fan base.
Right.
And I think that's why it's a good idea to step back. What can we do to reinvigorate? Bring something new, fresh, that would bring in a new fan base.
So you don't think like the sequel trilogy doesn't make that people's Star Wars?
No, I don't think it had the impact. For us, it was a conclusion to the end, right? Something that we grew up with. But for the newer, younger, the 20-something-year-olds, it really didn't draw them in. Either you're going to be middle-aged like us,
right, or
very young, a child. Could be your imagination. But I think that what they're trying to do is how can we capitalize on the next crop.
I mean, because our money's going to eventually run out. We're going to have to start paying for, like, funeral homes and, old folks' homes.
What is it? AARP.
Yeah, it's like our money's going to dry up. Eventually, we're going to have the wills. So our money's going to eventually dry up. All right, so my questions are going to come through as far as, since they're thinking about this step back, do you think they should just reboot?
No.
No.
No, I think would I love a reboot? Yeah, 7, 8, and 9 were trash, but y'all know how I feel about it. Everyone knows. 1, 2, and
3 weren't that great either.
Much better than 7, 8, and 9.
Ooh, I disagree, but anyway.
But the numbers don't lie, sir.
Well, I mean, it's the time that they caught them. The numbers don't lie. It's like there's $1 billion on all these movies. 3 didn't make $1 billion. But anyway, so you feel like they should reboot. But if they reboot, they would also be giving up 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
You would take a reboot and give up 4, 5, and 6?
No, I don't think a reboot would work, to be honest. I think a reboot would only confuse fans even more. I mean, you have your hardcore diehard fans who love the extended universe, the canon, the old one, right? And then you have the new Disney Star Wars.
Okay.
So I think it'd be even more confusing what you're growing up with, or what we've already been given. I think a reboot also, but
they can also reboot it in another far away in the galaxy a long time ago, and just do a different type of Star Wars.
Space Wars.
Like
with Luke Starkiller.
There, Luke Starkiller. Yeah, we can see some stuff like that.
No, I mean, I think now's a good time. Instead of a reboot, maybe, or not so much a reboot, but you can still have the Star Wars universe. Knights of the Old Republic is a great way to bring in. You can use a younger cast.
Okay.
You can make it a tween, like a high school movie. I'm just saying,
a musical.
Well,
it becomes a Disney musical.
No, I meant like a coming of age or something where because you have to go through an academy, right?
Right.
To become a knight. If we're going based off the older, because all we've been given was Luke and Rey. Mm-hmm. Being trained differently from everyone else. Okay. And they kind of skipped over all of Anakin's training because he started off later as a Padawan.
When we saw younger kids, we weren't really getting a chance to see them.
Yeah, so, and that's why I said with the Knights of the Old Republic, it gives you you already have a lot of material there. You're always going to bring writers in and they're going to try to throw in everything that they want. But I think Reboot itself, it would just be more confusing. I mean, look what happens with Spider-Man. Okay. And I just use Spider-Man as an example. They keep rebooting Spider-Man, and
we still keep watching it.
Yeah, we still. But they had to. The most recent one is successful because I think they had to tie it in with Marvel. Okay. With everything that's happening there. So that's my opinion. That's where from a business perspective, you're going to lose a lot of money as well.
Okay. So you actually kind of jumped into. To one of my next questions is that if we don't reboot, should we continue to do original stories? You wanted to touch more on as far as with legend stories and go that route, but I bring up the fact that we still got a bunch of other films that were kind of slated. Should we still do these films? Because the Cassian Andor thing, whether I think it's going to be a TV show now, that's still out there. Yeah. Obi-Wan's going to be a TV show, that's still out there. Yeah. Taika Waititi's
Well, those are always talks, right? Yeah. But we don't actually see any traction on a lot of these things.
Well, I mean, Ewan McGregor came out for that one. They did kind of recently confirm the Cassian Andor in one of our previous Rule of Two episodes. But the ones that we really don't know about is the Rian Johnson one because, they kind of trashed what he did, so I don't know if they'll give him a trilogy anymore.
I mean, how would you feel? Well, at the end of the day, it's still a paycheck. You're still making money. So.
Yeah. The Taika Waititi film, after The Mandalorian, they're really high on him. And then Kevin Feige, and you can tell Kevin Feige, if Kevin Feige comes in and is like, I want to make a damn Star Wars film, you're going to like, yes, Kevin, go, please make it now.
Yeah. Here's a check. Just tell us how much it's going to be after. All right. Keep the receipts.
So, if they're original stories, you're still okay with these coming out?
Yeah. It's okay to venture off. What I would fear is that they're going to mess with the timeline and start. That's where you get a lot of not conflict, but contradiction, and people will lose interest because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense because they don't cover all of the little things that come up that somebody mentioned, that somebody remembers, that he said one time, and then they do something that covers that gap, and you're like, well, he didn't mention this. Now there's a plot hole.
I mean, Rogue One was a great example, and Rogue One was a great film. I mean, for me, it's one of the best films.
Did we do a top 5 on the best Star Wars films?
Yes, we did.
We did.
We did.
I think we ranked them. But did we do considering all these offshoot ones that have come out?
Yeah, we included those.
Oh, okay.
We included those, and we all were unanimous with Rogue One, except you.
Anyway, all right. So, do we want more prequels?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I know we were talking about the plot hole things, but do you want to know the backstory of whoever?
I don't want to know the backstory of anyone.
Of Chewbacca, like a prequel to Chewbacca.
That's the thing.
It's called Chewie.
No, that's the short film. The extended cut is going to be Chewbacca.
Do we want to land? Oh, we did get Lando's backstory.
We really don't. And that's where I think they keep
the Mon Calamaris. Do we want to know where they came from?
we don't really need to know. That's one of the things that we loved about The Mandalorian, right?
Is that we didn't need to know the backstory. Yeah. Just kind of hint at it a little bit and just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I think that's the best route to go because now you're not confined to be within certain limits and saying, oh, well, this character's not really like this, and we're trying to mimic, and this is how this person is. Instead, you just bring in an all-new character. There's there's nothing to reference, and there's no nitpicking from the fans. What we're going to nitpick is what they're producing, what they're giving us, not comparing it to what's already been done.
Which is, I guess, where we look at that Cassian Andor series that's supposed to come out. I mean, all we know of him is the Rogue One stuff. It's kind of a prequel, but he is a new created character to where we don't have much to go back and tie him into, like some legend stuff.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you an example that's not Star Wars related,
Okay.
but it's still, I'm going to use the Transformers franchise.
Okay.
Right? The Transformers franchise is a cluster, right? None of the story...
The Bayverse is a cluster.
The Bayverse is because none of it, there's no continuity, right?
Right.
But the one movie that everybody unanimously agrees was the best one was Bumblebee.
It was Bumblebee, yeah.
And that
the
one
first
still didn't even
Transformers
make
movie.
sense with what the movie was. But
No, because they rebooted the whole timeline at that point, yeah.
yeah. So I think that's what they should do. You know,
So you really think that they should somehow
not so much reboot. What I'm just saying is, just do something different. You don't
do
even have
something
to reference anything that's happening now. I mean, the only part that they show really is like, oh, they paid a little homage to him driving next to a semi truck that was in the color scheme.
He also changed into a Camaro too.
Yeah,
so.
at the end, so to tie in how all this, but that's what I mean. Like, they didn't have to do anything to meet the current.
But with
universe.
that being said, is that whole scene with him and Optimus being there before he meets Shia and stuff like that, the meetings, it totally throws off their timeline.
It does. It does. But you don't focus on that because it was such a great film.
It was such a great film. Give us a great film, we won't care about the timeline.
Exactly.
All right, so another thing that I was thinking about when she's talking about like pull back, kind of reassess. Do you think that they may just scrap all of this spin-off stuff outside of the, I guess, a couple days, and just stick with saga films going forward? Just give us a new saga film, a new Jedi, broomstick boy. He gets his own saga film going forward.
So here's how I feel about the Disney Plus.
Okay.
Right? Disney Plus, we have all these shows that are going to come out. We're going to do this. Not just Star Wars, right?
Right. They need content.
Yeah. I think it's going to go the same way of the DC universe.
And go to HBO Max?
Yeah. And just like, you know what? We canceled all our shows. We're going to produce whatever. Occasionally hear something. I think they're going to do something similar with Disney Plus, with the Star Wars.
But Disney Plus, like just put everything on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Oh, like, okay, like that. It's like, so instead of like DC, like they're not releasing the Zack Snyder cut. By the way, the #1 Star Wars talk show on YouTube. They're not releasing the Zack Snyder cut theatrically. They'd rather just throw it.
Yeah,
on
just
to
throw it.
HBO
I think if the
Just
platform.
throw everything now to Disney Plus, so that way it's less blowback if it doesn't
exactly.
do well.
And
Okay.
and then they can focus on the bigger projects.
Okay.
Like
Which would be our saga films, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, and that way, because once you start throwing a lot of things out there, you're either rushing jobs, you're getting scripts, really just, it becomes a cluster.
Okay.
I think they're going to do something where there's no pressure when you put it on the platform, a streaming platform.
Because then nobody knows how really well it got viewed unless you put out something. And as long as your subscriber rate is high and you can somehow justify it with the subscribers, then.
And that's why I want to go back to The Mandalorian. I mean, The Mandalorian was just solid. I mean, everything from episode 1 to the last episode in season 1, it was just a solid film. We all were excited. We didn't know what to expect.
So that should be our blueprint for
I think
Star Wars
that's where
going
the
forward.
success is, and I think
It's like just do like smaller TV shows.
if she steps back and says, you know what, I think this is the direction. Personally, I think that's the wisest choice. Reboot is going to cost too much money. It's going to be, it becomes more convoluted.
Now, if they put everything on Disney Plus, they're just going to spin off and say, like, this is the Lucas app. This is the Star Wars app. All of the Star Wars content is now here.
Yeah.
And then Marvel, it'll be the same thing with Marvel, and then we'll be like, nothing's on Disney but like old animated racist movies. So everything will get spun off into its own separate app. But I agree with you. I think they, like she says, they should take a step back and just kind of like, pull focus.
I think the pandemic shutting things down, especially filming.
It keeps them from not having to like, oh man, we got to get something out. We got to get something out.
I think this is a great time to reassess, see what actually works, and maybe decide Michael Bay should never make another film ever again.
Not a Transformers one. I mean, I wouldn't even say a Bad Boys one because Bad Boys 3 was not good. #1 Star Wars show on YouTube. Art, take us home.
Hey guys, tell us what you think. Maybe there's a different perspective that we didn't cover. Maybe there's some other films or something, a genre within the Star Wars universe that we can do that would be successful.
Ask him about a book. He's been wanting to talk about books that he's read, and we haven't had an opportunity to talk about it.
Because
Put in the comments below.
nobody wants to ask me.
Put in the comments below.
I have so much
if you
knowledge
guys are
and no one
interested
to
about,
share
like,
it
'cause
with.
There's a lot of books that's come out. I'm sure he would love to talk to you about it. I'm not a book reader.
Apparently not a movie watcher either.
Not those. So, for Manny, who didn't make it to the show today because of some lame excuse that he gave us, I am Terrence.
I'm Art.
And may the force be with you.
And also with you.
Always. Wait, guys, are you still here? I'm glad you're still here. All right, so if you look down, I mean, it's somewhere over here. Look down. We actually have a Patreon. So if you guys watch the show and you really like what we want to do and you want to help support the show and you want to help me get an editor so I can get to sleep at night because I'm really tired and you guys see all my mistakes in the episodes. So please go to patreon.com/thegoods. Give us a penny, give us a nickel, give us $1.
Just don't give us the finger.
Don't do that. But make sure you do donate something because we do have some giveaways. There's posters, there's t-shirts.
I'll sign something for you.
Exactly. So take a look, guys, and help us out. We appreciate it.